Hey y'all, Machine Washable here, and today we have a Spirit Halloween 2021 tier list. Let's go ahead and get started. So first, Wacky Mole, very anticipated return. I don't think he's bad, I just don't think he's great. I'm gonna have to say B tier. I'm probably gonna add another tier below this one. Alright, next we have Grim. Grim is a pretty cool animatronic. I like how he is very articulated and has the servo head movements and all that movement. And he just looks like a normal skeleton. There's no super annoying mechanism sticking out, so I'm gonna have to say A tier. Next, Mr. Howl. Questionable quality. He looked really awesome. He was a very cool, like, showstopper kind of animatronic. But, I don't know, that quality really gets in the way. Also, his box was huge and he cost a lot, so I don't know about that. Henry Hustle. I love this guy. Henry Hustle is incredible. I love all of his movement. I love that jump scare. I love his phrases. Easily S tier. Buzzsaw. He was not too bad, actually. I know from setting him up, he seemed very unstable just because of how heavy a lot of his parts were, and he was only, like, held up by 2 metal poles, which really concerned me. But for the price, honestly, not too bad. I do like him. I probably wouldn't get him, but he's not that bad, honestly. I'm going to have to say B tier. Next, Deathstalker, Nightstalker. I don't know. They're all the same prop, it seems like. Nightstalker, Deathstalker, Night Creeper, whatever this guy, the Scarecrow guy. He's fine, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna have to say B tier. He's not super cool in my opinion. I don't hate Scarecrow props, but this guy was just so boring, and I don't know. His setup was also very questionable. Next, we have Beetlejuice animatronic. This guy was pretty awesome. I did like how accurate he was to the movie. Also, his phrases are good. His audio quality is kind of strange, but he's not bad at all. I'd have to say A tier. Ghostface, I think that it looked fine. I just don't like how he was like 5 foot, and also that Hauntress animation really just did not make sense. I don't think he should have had that Hauntress animation, so I'm gonna have to say B tier as well. Next, the Gravedigger guy. I think that's his name, Gravedigger. He was probably one of the worst animatronics this year. He was like reasonable price, but he was just really weird. The way he was built was questionable. I didn't like his audio that much. He was just very, weird and boring. I'm gonna have to say D tier. Shorty, one of the better licensed one we've seen in a while. He's actually not too bad. I like his audio. He's pretty funny. He looks good. I'm gonna have to say A tier. W Wraith. Unpopular opinion, I kind of like this one. Obviously, it's very overpriced compared to a lot of the other more detailed, kind of techie floating props with the same mechanism. But honestly, it's not too bad. It just looks like a creepy ghost, and it does cost a lot, but it's not a bad prop at all. I'm gonna have to say A tier. Baphomet, super awesome animatronic. The audio is great. I just love the idea of like this goat demon thing, this like ram head. I don't know exactly what it is, I apologize. But the audio is great, I love all that movement. Very creepy. I wish that the bottom jaw wasn't like that thin plastic, but I understand that it has to move pretty quickly, so it can't be too heavy. But overall, this guy is pretty awesome. Gonna have to say A tier. Harriet Hustle. If you know me, you know where this goes. S tier easily. I love Harriet Hustle. This is like the first girl clown we've ever seen ever. I love how she swings. I love her audio. I love how she has the knife. I love the Hustles. Very cool animatronics in general. Definitely S tier. Next is the 2 Scoops clown. I'm convinced that nobody actually buys him or bought him because he was a good prop. I think people just wanted him because he was one of the cheaper things this year, which is kind of sad, but he's not that bad. I kind of like how it's like the two clowns with the heads, and they move side to side and they both talk. There's lots of movement going on. The ice cream cone with the girl doesn't really make sense. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna have to say C tier. Mr. Dark. Okay, honestly, whoa, I keep doing that. Honestly, S tier. I know some people don't like him because he's very bland looking and prefer Hellspawn a lot more, but I don't know, Mr. Dark is just so cool. I love that mechanism. I love that audio is super creepy. He's just a really great animatronic. I had some trouble with him the first time I bought him. He was a little faulty, but the 2022 models, and I'm pretty sure 2023 models, are going to be a lot better. Actually, I don't know if Mr. Dark is returning for 2023, but nonetheless, he's still a really cool animatronic. I love that animation. I love everything about this guy. Just super awesome showstopper. Bloody bag of jokes. I do like this guy. I think it's one of the better props that they've returned. I like how they kept his audio the same. Great YJ hanging prop, A tier. Experiment 4, I have this guy, and he's a little overhated just because of that price, but I do think that the animation is pretty awesome. Just how it shoots out, super creepy, very interesting prop. Build quality is a little questionable. The thin plastic does worry me, but I'm gonna have to say probably A tier. We do have lots of A's and B tiers already. Next, Evelyn Leach. I know a lot of people do not like this prop just because it's a little overpriced for how much it does, but she looks incredible. I do love that audio. It's a pretty interesting prop. I do wish that the head had more detail just because it's like a severed head and it looks very cartoony compared to the very realistic Evelyn Leach. But I do love this prop. I do kind of wish that I had her A tier. Grave Grabbing Corpse. Probably one of the better animatronics they could have returned. Felt very random. I don't really know if anyone was like screaming, please bring Grave Grabbing Corpse back. But he's a pretty decent prop. I'm gonna have to say A tier as well. There's lots of A tiers, I realize. Wow. Ophelia, this prop is just kind of a letdown. I usually like the Crazy Crate, Party Time, Creepy Girls, Techie Toys. They're pretty cool, but this one just doesn't really do it for me. The demon doesn't really make sense. She looks stupid. The audio's kind of dumb. I'm gonna have to say C tier. Pennywise Sewer Grate, probably my least favorite of this year, just because I remember him being super expensive, and also we've already seen Pennywise props before. I don't know, it's just not that great to me. I don't know, I'm gonna have to say D tier as well. Barry, I know some people call him Barry, but I like to call him Barry because like bars with a cage. I think the name just makes more sense. He's okay. I do like how he's like a hanging cage skeleton, and I like how they incorporated him into the theme this year. How he was, oh wait, no, I'm thinking of 2022. Yeah, this guy was online only or inbox only for 2021, but he did in 2022 be featured. He was featured in stores, which was pretty awesome. I'm gonna have to put him in B tier. I do like that animation, but he's a little boring for me. I like that idea, but he's just like a generic skeleton. So Barry in B tier, B for Barry. Next, Headless Jack. Insanely overpriced, doesn't make sense. I don't get why it's called Headless Jack when he has a head. Very boring prop. Also, why is he so expensive? I think I already said that, but he's just so expensive and annoying, and I don't like that. Lil Nestor, one of the better props they could have returned. I think all of the props that they returned this year were pretty solid, good props that I feel like everybody likes. I'm gonna have to say A tier. They kept the same audio, same-esque. I think it's a similar price, I'm not entirely sure. But overall, just, you know, pretty good prop. I actually don't recognize a lot of these props. I think these are just like Morse Costumes props. I'm just gonna skip to these last two. But Dr. Illume, unpopular opinion, I also really like this guy. I'm gonna have to say A tier. I love kind of that like jolting back and forth animation. I also love his face sculpt. He's also not too expensive, which I like. And then Jerry, C tier. He's just weird. He doesn't make sense. He looks stupid. His animation's pretty bad. So yeah, here's my Spirit Halloween 2021 animatronic tier list. Let me know what y'all think of this tier list in the comments down below, and I'll see y'all later.